The government has been warned of a possible political violence ahead of the forthcoming general elections by the National Intelligence Services.
The National Security Intelligence Service has informed the government that there are indicators of possible political violence ahead of the next general elections. The service has warned, and I quote, "The recent trend where a section of the political elite have resorted to using ethnic groups for political mobilization in order to advance personal and community interests to the exclusion of other sections of the Kenyan community is posing a threat to national cohesion and security."
This has been attributed to the fallouts being experienced in major parties that are leading to realignment of tribal blocs as a way of persuading votes. The Grand Coalition government partners ODM and PNU are not exempted. But how is ODM going about the fallout and subsequent takeoff of ODM's influential pillar Christ in the Pentagon has been described as expected, since all the team members had shown ambitions in the presidency.
I, Musalia Mudavadi, wish to announce that I'll be offering myself as a candidate for the office of President of the Republic of Kenya on the ticket of the United Democratic Forum Party.
Sheria imeweka kanuni wazi, kuna masharti, kuna taratibu ya kufuata. Ikiwa kama wewe unawacha chama, basi natakana ujiuzulu kiti yako ya bunge.
Let us be real about the Pentagon people who have left. In terms of public opinion and public perception, none of them had gone beyond 2 to 3% in terms of popularity. Therefore, losing any member is something a party does not like. But now that they have gone, these are persons who had personal ambitions to be president of Kenya, but they were not that popular in the party.
Concerning Mudavadi's relinquishing deputy premiership posts, Professor Gumbe argues that it was entrusted to him courtesy of a negotiated agreement between ODM and PNU under the National Accord. This is without any regard to any arguments that are emanating from various quarters following the DPM's departure.
It is on record that the Honorable former Minister for Finance and Deputy Prime Minister and the Honorable former Minister for Local Government and Deputy Prime Minister have both defended the position that they cannot vacate the position of Deputy Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, in so saying, they have cited none other than the National Accord. Mr. Speaker, I believe they were doing this so as to assign the importance to those offices because they know that the Grand Coalition government cannot function without those offices.
I am not aware that the two deputy prime ministers know that the coalition government will not work. That's an assertion you are making. So you own it, it's your opinion. I don't share that opinion.
What is the purpose of the nominations in political parties? Is that the political party arrives at its candidate. After the nomination process, they give you a certificate to certify you as somebody they have sent as their representative to the elections. When you are elected as a member of a particular political party. And then you join their parliamentary group. So, Musalia Mudavadi was elected on an ODM ticket. He was a member of the ODM parliamentary group, and he was, by virtue of being a member of ODM, is why he was elected in Sabatia. We don't know if he had stood on another political party. But we know before that, he had stood in Sabatia on a KANU ticket and lost. Subsequent to that, he stood on ODM ticket and won. And he was an ODM person. And he became the deputy prime minister by virtue of the National Accord, which was negotiated between ODM and PNU. Therefore, if you have left ODM for PNU, the way Musalia has left it, the legal position, the moral position, the ethical position is that he must leave the deputy prime minister post because he's no longer a member of ODM.
With regards to youth participation in political party matters, Youth Agenda recently released survey findings that revealed that young persons are well represented in political parties, but their active participation is hardly felt.
we've had this problem with the youth that they don't take responsibility. They are not accountable, you know, because I believe that if the youth were accountable and if they took responsibility, then they would be able to propel the kind of leader they want into power, both as an MP and even as a president. But they've abdicated this responsibility. You know, we cannot balkanize this country the way we are doing in tribal blocks and expect to build a nation.
Considering that their energies have always been misdirected by influential politicians. Moreover, warnings of possible political violence ahead of the forthcoming general elections by the National Intelligence Services, with questions on how these idle minds can be tamed.
In Western right now, we have a very strong movement of youth that has been going around the Western province, trying to tell the youth first to take up the responsibility and vote, secondly to vote in responsible leaders, and thirdly the youth to carry themselves responsibly and not to allow to be used. So for us, like my generation and the young generation, we have refused, and we are going to refuse, and we are going to resist being taken back to our tribal cocoons, you know, because we don't see any benefit.